wow, that's actually pretty straight. Hello there, people. I'm gonna try and get this camera running. I don't know if it is gonna run properly, but it probably should. Never worked the first time. Never. It has never worked the first time in its entirety ever. So hello there, people. I'm here. We're just going to be chatting, chilling, having fun. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Remember that? I don't know if anybody knows that song. The song's great. So, what has happened in the past about week and a half, other than the fact that what's her name left, is that whoopsies. I gotta find the chat. Where's the chat? Is that I think I got hacked. I'm not 100% sure if I got hacked per se or something. I'm pretty sure I got hacked. I'm 99% sure I got hacked. And then what happened with the hacked was I can't upload to Pandora anymore. I paid a guy to make me a bot, a notification bot, and now I'm just like, and then now I'm like, oh no, what the heck, man? And now it doesn't let me upload, and I other people have said that too because I asked on their like sub on the Reddit subreddit that says like I was asking like, what do you people think of this? I use it. I love it. I think it's great. It's kind of a little weird, but it works. And it's like, yeah, no, sorry. If I could, I can't do it on my S21 Ultra or something. I was like, wow, this is terrible. Greatest thing I've ever seen, except it's terrible. Go figure, right? Oh no, not that one. So that's what happened with me. I'm like, oh no, that's terrible. Which it is. But like, oh well. But yeah. So my 360 photos and all that. Then I'm trying to get to do like 360 virtual tours, but I don't know if anybody wants them because I don't know how to like market myself to them. I know someone, person who left, she did what she did was she did this blanketed like just like wide sweep of like anybody. She just went like multiple different people and said, "You want my services? Here's what I've done so far. I'm a photographer. I have it. Here you go." And then it was just like, okay. And then so what happened there is I would love to like I don't know if I how to approach it. I don't know why, but anyway, it's like anyway, talk to her and say like, well, what? How did you get into it? How did you get into it? How did you like? What do you charge? All that stuff. Because like, what do you charge? Because no offense, I'm sorry. What it says? Ooh, my camera is not working very well. What did I just do? Yeah. So so I don't know what she like charges and all that. So I don't know if like she charges a lot. That's the thing. Some people say stuff like I've heard people say stuff like, well, I charge like something stupid like $1,500, $2,000. Like what for one session? That's insane. But then you realize there's all these things other than just a session. Like video editors will charge like $500, or no, yeah, something stupid like $500 an hour. I'm like, no way. So you'll be paid like 5,000, like or $2,000, $3,000. I'm like, what the frickin' heck? That's insane. Like, yes, it is. It is. But that's what it is. And so for me, I'm like, I don't know what I charge people to do 360 tours, virtual tours. I'm gonna ask two people. I'm gonna ask the pastor of my previous church, where they go to their young adults on Wednesday, and I'm gonna ask on Saturday. I'm going back to the same camp I used to work at to work again for a cleanup day, and I'm gonna ask if the new guy's there because there's supposed to be a new general director. I'm gonna ask him if he's there. Yo, like, would you want this service? And I'll bring my two things. I'll bring 360 camera, three things. 360 camera. I'll bring photos that they can look at, and I'll bring a VR headset so they can look at it in like VR. Because like it's really cool to look at. Like if I can convince this guy that this is a usable service, because the problem is my friend wants to do like their IT, but the problem with doing their IT is that their IT is not as necessity as like what I would say. I also all these people's average age on the board of directors of that camp are like 50. And the problem with that is they don't understand what the heck you're doing. Well, what does that mean? You have to sell it to them in such a way that they go, "Oh, you're selling me what now? Oh, okay, I understand what that means." Or I don't understand what that means, but I understand why it's necessary. Right? You know, that kind of thing. So for me, at least, I'd be like, "Here's a physical virtual tour I did of this place already. Here's what it is. Here's my portfolio. I can physically show you something." Right. So no, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying, or like he couldn't sell it. I'm just saying what I'm saying is he can't sell it the same way I can sell mine because he can't physically show them anything. What's he going to show them? A picture of an error on the screen and then error's done now. Like what's the like? Seriously, no offense, but like there's nothing to sell. He can't sell them to these old people who don't understand, older people who don't understand what that even means, right? They don't know what that means. They don't know what maintaining the internet means. Like it's basically you'd have to like they would ask the one question: why? What do you do? Well, so two questions: what do you do, and why would we pay you to do it? So no offense, but like I don't think right. No offense, but I don't think that's exactly like easy to sell to these people. Mine is easy to sell because like I can sell you a 360 virtual tour and say here's what a 360 virtual tour is. Like I show you just a random one. Here's one I've done. Here's a 360 photo. Here's it in VR. Here's the whole process in every possible configuration ever. And it's like, there you go. And so for me, I'm like, ooh. Now, I can't sell them yet, but I need to figure out how to do that because I want to know how do you, like, how does somebody get into photography? Is there someone like me who loves pictures and does stuff? I don't know. Because I know the person who left was a photographer slash videographer, and then I know somebody's a videographer, and then I know someone who's a photographer, and then I know another person who's a photographer, then I know other people who've done like photos and stuff. I know at least like 5 or 6 or 7 people who know how to use camera stuff. So I'm like, ooh. Also, I'd love to know what kind of cameras to get, like from actual people who use this as a living, not just random people on the internet who like could tell me something. I don't know, right? So for me at least, I'm like, look, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying like, I think personally, 360 virtual tours are they used for 360 cameras? Because no offense, right? I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say this right now. 360 is a gimmick. It's a very big. My mom asked, I'm my dad. Can you do this for a wedding? Can you do this for the graduation? Can you do this for a bar mitzvah? Can you do this for a baptism? Can you do this for a field trip? Can you do this for this and that and this and that and this and that? And I went, yes, but it's very much a gimmick. And she goes, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, you gotta like make the tiny planets, and it just looks kind of stupid, and it's like a gimmick. It's not great. But she said, but it's possible. Like, yeah, but it's not great. And then so I was like, well, look, okay, no offense. I said, no offense, but like that's a kind of a gimmick, and it's kind of terrible. And she was like, well, okay, well, 360 virtual tours. And I showed her a virtual tour. I showed my mom and my dad a virtual tour, and they're both like, that sounds like a great idea, right? Both of them understand it very well and understand like that it's a good idea for selling a place, right? Not because my mom used to do these things for she used to work at a senior center and like a community center, but for seniors specifically. And so she used to do these virtual tours online back in COVID, right? So she was like, okay, well, and I said to her, yeah, but if you did it 360 virtual tour 360, because they were doing it where they would go like how these people would set them up was like person standing here like me, and then next to me is just a PowerPoint presentation, and they're in like a green screen and they're showing it like, or they're like picture in picture at the bottom of the screen here. And so for my mom, I was like, whoa, Ma, you could get anywhere in the world if you got someone to do it through a 360, and she never got to that point. Well, because she also doesn't work there anymore. But I was like, so she knows what that means, right? She knows what that means. I love that picture because it's like, you know the picture of Napoleon where he's like this? There's a funny picture of Napoleon, or painting of Napoleon, sorry, where he does that, but to his wife. So he's like grabbing her. Anyway, it's funny. It's just a funny picture, image, okay? Anyway, so I'm like, and so my mother knows how that works, and I show my dad how it works, and my brother how it works. They're all gung-ho for this. And they think that, at least my brother thinks, yeah, you can sell that so much easier. Because we were talking with my friend on Friday night. He came over for something. I went to a young adult at my local church, and I asked him if he wanted to come, and he said yes. Which, I mean, it was much better this time. I have to say that, because one big problem with that young adult at my current church is that young adults at my current church, the problem with it is when they do a discussion night, so first of all, it's not every week, which I think is stupid, and it's not always talking about this, like the Bible or Christianity. There's discussion weeks, and then there's like event weeks. And the problem with the discussion weeks is they come off as like you have to have been there, like to know what, because it's a continuation of what they talked about last Sunday, which is fine. But if you say that ahead of time, anyway, that's beside the point. I digress. He came over, and so he stayed over after it was done. And my brother was asking, "Okay, well, what is this?" Trying to figure out what this all was. And then after when he left, I was like, I told my dad that, and my brother was right there, and he goes, "That's so much easier to sell to someone because his girlfriend's parents did it with their house when they're selling their house, which is the whole, dollhouse looking thing with a 360 tour. It makes more sense to sell to someone because you can show someone a photo. Like these people understand photos. They don't understand what IT is. They don't understand what the IT is. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to sell. It's just you have to sell it to the right person. The person who is doing it right now may. We don't know if he's leaving, but we think he's leaving. He was saying he was leaving. He was thinking of leaving. And so the thing there is you end up with, you sell to that guy, or you sell to the board who goes, you know that this person does this. He's leaving. I'll take his job. Done. Although, my brother made the point of two things. One, his sister probably would do it because his sister does that for a living. The guy's sister. And the guy could do it remotely. So, like, you didn't have to pay him all the time. You can be paid peanuts. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think it will be very easy to sell to anybody. Because I kept telling my dad, there's very little you can sell to these people that because they don't understand what the heck is going on. They don't get it. They don't understand what is going on. They don't understand what that is. Try to sell me a grant for like string theory or trigonometry research, and I'd be like, I don't have a freaking clue. I wouldn't know. I would not know what the heck you're talking about. I'd understand that it's important, or tell me that it's what's it called? Like mechanics. Like I would know that it's important. I just wouldn't know what the heck you're talking about. Like biomechanics, mechanics, bioengineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. I wouldn't understand what you're saying, but I would know that it's important. These people wouldn't understand what's going on. They may know it's important if it's sold to them as, well, look, here's a service. We set up your Wi-Fi, which I've already done. He's already done. I maintain your Wi-Fi, and I limit the Wi-Fi for people. In my opinion, I feel like mine is easier to sell to someone. I could show you. Here is the 3-point plan of like here's like video and here or not video photos and here's 360 stuff I've done before or what a 360 photo looks like. It just makes more sense to me. Like to me, it's easier to sell. I'm not saying it's impossible to sell the internet, but it's very much harder because I feel like I could show you a picture and you'd understand. If 99% of the people I would sell this to would understand a picture. They'd be like, okay, or to the people that I sell to there would understand a picture. Now, other places could do it too. There's other camps around the area, like dozens of camps around the area, smaller camps. There's two that compete with this camp, and then there's like multiple little ones on lakes and on up in the eastern townships of Quebec. Oh, you could even ask what's her name's camp? Yeah, that would work. And then there was one across the like the U.S. that used to do this. Oh, the one that my friend used. Okay, yeah. There's lots of. Anyway, that never popped into our heads. We never thought about that part. None of us thought about that part. Anyway, I'm just saying, go to the other places and say, well, this is what I've done. I've maintained their internet. Blah 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 blah. Thing is, I think it's harder to sell. It's impossible. Don't get me wrong. It's possible. Now, is it easy to sell? No, but it's not impossible. I mean, look. In my opinion, I feel like it's a necessity if you sell it to someone as like a, well, look at what, well, this is the future, we need it, because like right now, it's very, 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 at this moment, right now, at this very moment, they would look at you like, but why do I need this? No offense, but why do I need this? Why do we need to invest our money into this? And it's like, well, I can completely understand why you think that, because guess what? You really don't. But also, you can sell to them as, well, we don't want them on the internet all day, every day. So we will sell it as this. I will limit the people's internet so they don't get it all the time, which is fair. Campers, counselors, you know. So yeah, I'm not saying it's useless. It's just very hard to sell in comparison to mine, which is like just sell a frickin' what's it called? I feel like it's easier to sell my what's it called? photography, 360 videography. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's very hard, much easier to sell mine. Not channel video producer. Bitch. Checking if anybody's here. No, making sure. Just making sure nobody's here. Making sure if anybody's here. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So personally, I really don't think. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And I probably have to get. Oh, I'm gonna look it over now. Give me a second here. Give me 30 seconds here to look at it. It would be under. That's my email. Cause I sent myself an email of a link to something. You'd be surprised how many. Oh my god, it's so. You know, it's one thing I think is really, really good. No, there's a few things in there. You have an Apple Store. You have a over-the-air updates, and the third thing I think is really, really, really useful is I hate the fact, okay, that I hate how what's the thing? Oh yeah, sorry. Drafts. I hate with a passion, legit. I hate with a passion having to send myself an email of something. Makes me want to like punch something. I gotta email myself something. Why? That is so horrible. I'm not saying it's terrible. Nope, not right. Is the price negotiable and would you ship it? Is the price negotiable and would you ship it? Dang it, okay. That's not right. Well, negotiable. I can tell you that right now. Negotiable. Yeah, but I don't like when people say, like, it's negotiable, but firm. Well, I'll ask. When it's, like, negotiable. No, because here's the problem. I mean, don't get me wrong. The iPhone holds up a lot of value way better than something like an iOS, an Android phone. But don't get me wrong. The next year, half, maybe 3/4, but half, basically. This guy's in where? Ontario? London, Ontario. So for me, I'm like, oh my god, 'cause I'm looking for a Theta Z1, and I know that it's like what everybody considers like a DSLR of point and shoot cameras, point and shoot 360 cameras. 'Cause my 360 camera is a, it's got a crack in it too, or it's got like a scratch in it, so which you can is visible in the camera, but if you only if you're looking for it. If not, then you're not gonna notice it. But what's it called? Samsung Gear 360. And so for me, Samsung Gear 360 is like not good quality. Like I know for a fact it's not good quality at this day and age. I'm like, don't like it, which is fine. I know it's not good, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't think it's like awful, but I know it's not good. It's just old, and you can tell. You can tell when it's old. Like, you can tell it's old. So at least for me, I'm like I want to upgrade, but 1,000. I think on Amazon it's $1,700, something like that, 1,300, something like that. Guys even selling it used for 950. But then again, if you get a client or 2 clients or 3 clients that are all like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, $2,000, or you get $2,000 in like 1 or 2 or 3 clients, it pays for itself. That's what Ben Claremont was talking about when you compared this to the Reka Theta X. We're like, it's cheaper, it's $500, but it's the other one can pay for itself faster. It's better. Its workflow is not as like bad. This has 19 gigs or something, or 8 gigs. I mean, it's significantly like less space. But also, he was talking about. Cause I watched one of his old videos that was comparing the Theta S, what S, C maybe even anyway, to the LG 360 camera. And he went, even though the one, no, it wasn't that one. It was a video after that, which was talking about. He was talking about the original Gear 360, the 2016 one. he was comparing it to the LG 360 camera, and he went, the LG has 24. It has 8 gigs, but you can put up to 128 gig in the Gear 360, Samsung Gear 360, but he never even remotely used even half of the storage in the LG. So I'm like, yeah, that's fair. No offense, but I think no, actually, you're right. You're 100% correct, because I realized I've never even thought about the number in my camera. I've used it since 2019, although I did have to change the something happened with my SD card, like it didn't. I had to take it out. But I've never thought about it since 2020. Like I've never thought about the camera, like ever. I never thought about it ever. Never. I've never thought about that. Although that's 128 gigs, that's big. Same thing as my iPod. I have an iPod Classic 5.5 gen video. iPod Video 5.5 gen. It has 128 gig SD card mod. I've never thought about it once. I have literally thousands. I think 2,500 songs in it, or 2,800 songs, something like that. I've never even thought about it. I have another like 50 gigs or something. It's insane how many gigs I've used. Or have not used. It's insane how big it is. It's like, and then I've seen DankPods put things like terabytes into it, 2 terabytes. I'm like, what? Or 3 terabytes. I'm like, what? You'll never need that much space, and you won't. You will never. But it's the kind of thing where you want storage where you can just never think about it, which is fair. I don't blame people when they want to just never think about storage ever again. That's my thing. To me, at least, that's like you want to be the person who never thinks about storage ever again. Just fair. So yeah, I think so that's not a problem. This has what? How many gigs in it? Something like 51 gigabytes. Yeah, but the video's not great on this. But I'm never making 360 video. I think I've said this before. I think 360 video is a gimmick and a faff and a fad that is going to that like is terrible. It's gimmicky. The video is and even photos. I think is a gimmick. Because would you want to buy a photo? Would you want to pay for a 360 virtual tour? To me, at least, I think I would buy a 360 tour before I'd buy a photo, because I look at the photo and go, why? Only can be viewed on a computer. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid. I don't like it. It's whatever. So at least in my opinion, I'm like, well, fine. Look, I don't care. I don't like it. I don't like it, but that's only because I know what it is. I'm not saying it's great or terrible. I'm saying it's very much a thing that you know. You know, for me, I understand what it is, and I know it's a gimmick. I don't know. Maybe some people think it's cool. Like, oh, look at me, it's so cool. Whatever. I don't know. I just think it's kind of dumb that way. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying I think it's a gimmick. I've always said that video and photo are gimmick. 360 virtual tours are the only reason you use a 360 camera. They're really cool to show someone like once. It's like 3D on the 3DS. It's something you show someone and you use for like 5 minutes, and then they go, "Cool. Now what?" Like, great. It's a gimmick. I know that. Which it really is. It really is. They're $1,300 US or Canadian, because Canadian would be a little bit more expensive. So for me, I personally think it's not worth the money to invest in one of these if you're only going to use it for. Also, don't invest in $1,000 one or over $1,000, almost $2,000 ones when 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 if you're only going to use it for social media. Go find a cheaper one. There are cheaper ones. The LG one was 99. I bought mine for $78, $77. My 360 Gear 360 in 2019. So you can get them for like 50, 20. You can get these cheap. There are ones where it's cheap. And I'm not saying go buy the cheapest thing you can find. You want good quality, but you want that medium quality, somewhere in the middle. Meet in the middle, where it's like you're not spending $1,000, over $1,000, but you're also not spending like $20 getting $20 worth of quality. Like The $99 one that he was comparing the Ricoh when he was talking about the Theta S to the Theta to the LG one. You were like, you really get the quality. It is better. It is better for photos and photos. And when, the LG does better videos, but the photos are better, and so you can go with 360 and it's so much better. To me, at least, I feel like 360 virtual tours is a really big opportunity for people like photographers, right? You'd say to someone, "I'll do your graduation, or I'll do your house." I also do houses, you know, because I know the girl who left. She's a photographer and a videographer, so I don't know how she got into that. Really, I mean, the same way everybody else does. I love it. And she was talking about like her how much her equipment costs, but I was like, "But how much do you charge? Like, how do you know how much to charge?" That's my problem. I didn't know how much to charge for something. You charge small at the beginning, and then like as you get better, you build your work your way up, and then and then eventually you're selling them for like $2,000 a gig. I don't really know. I should ask Grayson. Oh, do I have Grayson's number? I do have Grayson's number. I don't care for this guy. Shucks. I shouldn't have said his name. I didn't dox the guy. I didn't say his last name. I don't know his last name. I don't know where he lives either. So don't ask me. Anyway, I have a guy. I know a guy. I met at one of those young adult like rally things, and he's a videographer. I should ask him one day how much does he charge to do like videography stuff. I just want to know like does he edit his own video slash? Oh, I didn't ask her if she edits her own. She probably does. She does not outsource it to someone else. She doesn't pay a guy to do it. Although Fiverr does exist, so and Fiverr is a really really interesting like cool thing to like do. Oh, Fiverr is like one of the most what's the word I'm looking for? Convenient things ever. Because like you realize, oh my gosh, oh I know why it's not looking good. There we go. Wow, it doesn't look much better, but it looks better. I think it's got some cool. Because I'm redoing my chair I'm sitting on right now, and I realize don't buy this stuff. You spent how much money on it just to get what? Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so personally, well, I need a chair to sit on for now. But when I'm done this stream, I'm gonna take apart the chair. Anyway, so for me at least, so I got okay. I'd want to know how much I would charge for something. Anyway, my thing is anyway. So what was I saying? What was I just saying? Yeah. So I just got some things, and it's gonna be a really cool chair. I want to show people. I might post a picture on like Instagram or something. Ooh, shucks, a boom. Instagram or something. So I don't know. I might post something on Instagram about it. I do think it's gonna be a cool like poster. Not poster. Upholstery fabric I have. So anyway, I think it's gonna be really cool to like put up on my chair. I'm looking for good ones, and my mom's like, "I'm not spending this much money. I am not spending this much money. It's insane." Because she was like gonna buy it for me. She's like, "Yo, I'll buy you the bottom of a chair, but I'm not spending you this much money." And I went, "Okay. So can I get something cheaper?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can get whatever you want, whatever's on sale." Because it was at Fabricville, so and that's like a fabric clothing store near me, and so it's a bunch of this like um what's it called? So she said anything that's on sale. It was 30, 40, or 50% off depending on what you went for. And I was like, oh great. So I found one I liked, and I'll show you once it's done. It'll be great. For me at least, I'm like, oh yeah. At least in my opinion, I feel like. I feel like it's not super great, but I don't know, it's cool. I don't know. I like the fabric on it. It's gonna be kind of hilariously obnoxious. My mother's like, I would never want this. This is ridiculous, but you can have it. Fun.
And a half inch.
But yeah, so for me at least, I feel like it's gonna be cool. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a nice thing. I wanted something that looked cool, and so one was expensive and the other one was cheap. So I was like, I was an option between two of them, and I was like, or three of them, actually three of them. And I was like, I'm not spending this much money. What do you out of your mind? But I bought enough. I bought I think two. Did I buy a foot and a half? Maybe about 2 feet. Anyway, I'm gonna do it tomorrow and probably put or not tomorrow, but maybe soon, and I'll put it up. Show you a picture of it, maybe on Instagram or maybe on the next stream. I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So I feel like it's gonna be great. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. My thing got hacked. Can't use that anymore. I paid for a bot to notify you on Panora. Can't use it anymore. Um, I'm trying to get into 360 photography. 360 videos are stupid, I think, and I need a better camera. So, hi Andrew, where are you from? I'm from Quebec, Canada. You are on YouTube? I'm from Quebec, Canada. Where are you from? You look Turk Ezio. You look like you sound like you're from. Your name sounds like you're from like Eastern Europe or like maybe Middle Eastern. I don't know. Turk. It's got that like two dot thing, or it could be Scandinavian because it's got that two dots on top. Whatever those things are called. I'm from Quebec, Canada, and yes, I know I don't speak French very well. I'm not fluent in French. Turkey. Never been to Turkey. I don't think Turkey's a terrible country. I've never been, so I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe never been to Turkey. So how are you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm trying to get into 360 virtual tours, so I'm thinking about like looking at cameras and looking at because this is the one I'm looking at now, and it's not super like crazy like insanely expensive, but it's also not cheap. I'm like, holy moly, no! This right here. Oh, turn off the HD. There. This right here. And it's decent. I mean, for $950 when it's really 13 or 14 or $1,500, that's kind of a little bit much, but uh, not that much. I suggest you Lisbon, Portugal. Isn't Lisbon in Portugal? I have no idea. Is Lisbon in Portugal? No, sorry, Istanbul, Turkey. Yeah, I read that completely wrong. Why did I read that as Lisbon, Portugal? Nope, that was on my brain for a second for some reason. Istanbul, Turkey. I've heard Istanbul, Turkey is a good place, but I don't know. I've never been to Turkey, so I don't know much about Turkey. All I know is it's a predominantly Muslim country. It's a Muslim country. It's all I know. It's like legit all I know. I know nothing else of any of it. So if you'd like to subscribe, please do. I'm trying to get 50 subscribers on this channel so I can stream on mobile without, I can stream on mobile. If you would subscribe, that would be nice. Other than that, yeah, I'm trying to get into that stuff. So that's my camera, and I think new it's like 17 or 2200 or something like that. Some $2 Canadian, which is a lot of money. So isn't that crazy? A guy from Canada, Quebec, Canada, is being. They're nice. I don't know why. That's really a stereotype that's real. That's a thing. That's a stereotype that's real. The nice stereotype is real, and the amount of maple syrup we ingest. We ingest maple syrup on like everything. There will be a season, an entire season of the month of March where we literally go to Cabana Sooks, which are sugar shacks, and we just consume sugar, maple syrup. We consume gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons, especially in Quebec. I know a guy who works on a farm that does maple syrup tapping, maple tree tapping. It's crazy. There's two stereotypes that are real. They're super nice. Canadians are super nice, and we consume like a dumb amount of maple syrup, like a stupid amount of maple syrup. I don't know why we're nice. I don't know. Maybe we're just trying to be opposite of like Americans. We want to be really nice. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out that kind of thing myself. So I do not know French properly. No, like I don't know French very well, and I've lived here 23 years. So go figure, eh? My life was spent here, so I don't know French very well. That's also because I didn't go to French school, and I didn't like go into like a French immersion, which is where you like do everything in French, and I didn't also like work at and try to learn French. I just kind of like every so often try again. You guys are near to the U.S., but how you guys are way too smarter than them. Sometimes, yeah. Did you know that? Did you know? I don't know if this fact is 100% true because I saw it on a video, so I don't know if they could have made it up on a YouTube video, so I could have made it up. But I believe it's something to the effect of 62% of Canadians have a post-secondary education, so they have university. They've gone to university, which is really, 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 really surprising considering like U.S. and Canada. I wouldn't have suspected them to have. Our U.S. doesn't do that. Go to university a lot. Although, I think I said this before, I think the university will be useless in the next 10 to 20 years because I think we're going to get to the point where like first it'll start as like only the major three. So doctor, lawyer, businessman will be the three people that you need to go to school for, right? Go to university for. Then I think it'll get down to just a doctor because, and then eventually everyone will just be like, well, you know how to become a doctor. You know that you have the knowledge. Why are we prohibiting you from being a doctor? You can be a doctor. You pass the test that says you're certified as a doctor. Done. Can I just say one thing? My bedroom is so damn hot. It's not even funny. It's so bad. My air conditioner isn't in yet because I'm waiting to see if it's going to be really, really hot this summer because last summer it wasn't, and I had to waste my time putting it in. So I never needed it, pretty much. But like, oh my god, it's annoying how bad it is. Wait, what? Wait, what? What are you talking about? What sounds bad? I got one. Oh yeah. No, I think no because I think that people are going to realize. No, I really do think that that's what the future is going to look like. Because right now, even right now, people are like, yeah, no, I think so because I think that even right now, people are like, well, the only reason that you want someone who went to college or university is because you think that, well, they've got discipline to go to a class every day for 4 years. You don't tell me you can't learn what you learned in 99% of what you learned online. I think so. That's what I think anyway. So don't go tell it, don't go trying to convince me, well, convince me that you can't learn it all online, most of the stuff online, and rip to sick people in future if you will be able to become a doctor because of a single test. Because some guys will. I'm not saying a single test. I'm saying you went and learned all the stuff your own on your own, and then you took the test you need, or whatever the set of tests you needed to get certified. That yes, I understand what you're saying. You didn't go to school and you didn't get like certified properly. My thinking is if I can become a fill in the blank by looking at a thing online, right? Looking at a watching YouTube videos or going on Skillshare or becoming a photographer or becoming a doc businessman or becoming a engineer kind of person online, carpenter online, you could in theory become a doctor. Even this day and age, you could become a doctor. I personally, well, I just think that two things: it's too expensive, and it'll be useless in the future. Now, will it? It'll sit. What'll happen is doctor will sit in this weird like area of like medical schools will exist for like a stupidly long amount of time before people realize or people come to like the realization it's not necessary. It's not. I'm saying if you can go to Skillshare and get a class on whatever, I don't think you need school as much as you think you do. These academics who are trying to say, well, we really need school for all that. No, you don't. Don't give me that baloney. But changing a system fully so it is. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm saying it's going to get to the point where doctor is the only job that people are not willing to get or to like not willing to have a doctor who's not gone to school. If you, but then again, how would you know that? I don't know. I'm just saying the medical system would not allow people to die anytime soon. Is it bad? Is that a bad way of thinking? No, but it will happen one day where we realize, oh my gosh, we don't even need school for a doctor. That's my opinion. I don't think necessarily that I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the greatest of things. No, of course not. But I think that'll happen in the future. I think we'll get to the point where we're not going to need it. Ah, you son of a dingus. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think that in the future we're going to get to the point where the thing you say will happen when nobody wants to be a needed job. Sorry, that's another thing too. But I'm just saying, like, once they say, well, we need doctors, right? And we don't really care how you know your information, how you know your stuff. I'm just thinking they're gonna go, give me this and go. I think a lot of jobs will also be replaced by either robots or AI. All the like intellectual jobs where you could just like ask someone information, historians, just anybody who gives you information about anything, you're just dead. You're or artists maybe gone, gone. You need the creative jobs, the really or the handy jobs where you can't have a robot make you a intricate, nice, weird, whatever thing that looks good. You want that like human touch, that human like connection touch. Other than that, I think they're all going to be pretty much taken replaced by either robots or AI or robots powered by AI. So, which I think, is that a bad thing? AI will destroy us. Agree or not? 100%. They will. I I don't want to accept this, but I do think we may in the future have to come up with like a basic income, standard income, to say here's $1,000 a month, and here's $1,000 a month, and you need here's $1,000 a month to live your life because every job that could feasibly be done by a human is basically replaced by an AI. There's no jobs really that exist, and you need to live somehow. That's what I feel. Now, will there be no jobs? I don't think so, and yet. But there will be a point where a robot can do 99% of the jobs a human could do. AI could do it, and we're just screwed. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like there's just nothing we can do about the fact that they've taken over the world. Basically, they've Terminator, Skynetted us to death. Like seriously, that's what I personally think. Now, do I think it's coming soon? It's going to come sooner than you think. But if we don't look at AI and say, how do we live with AI rather than how does AI take over? I'm not saying AI is terrible. I use AI every so often. I've used ChatGPT. I've used Dolly. I've used Bing's one. I haven't used Google's Bard yet. 'Cause I think it's only open to like certain people. Out of the topic, out of topic. But can I be a Canadian and Turkish at the same time? I want to visit Canada and be one. If you live here, I think it's 3 years or is it 6 years? Anyway, there's a lot of amount of time where you can become a Canadian citizen after this certain amount of time. Then you pass the citizenship test, and then you become a Canadian citizen. You can have dual citizenship, yes. My father's Italian. I can potentially in the future become a dual citizen of Italy and Canada. So I can. I can become a dual citizen. So you can become a dual citizen, yeah, that's what you want, or denounce your citizenship of Turkey and become a Canadian citizen. I personally have no. I pers yeah, you can. Yeah, it's possible. You have to live here for a certain amount of time, and then you have to pass the citizenship test, and then it's done. I've taken that citizenship test for my grade 10 history. Such a stupid history. Because here's the other stupid thing about grade 10 history in Quebec. Okay, it's not history. No, I've taken it. I passed it. Um, I don't have to, but I took it for it was a mock test for Canadian because it's not history. In Quebec, you learn no history. Here's what you learn in history: you learn the founding of Canada, you learn the history of Quebec, and then you learn World War II, and then that's it. And maybe you learn a little bit about the women's uh, feminist movement, the women's suffrage movement, all that stuff, the women's feminism, but that's it. You learn nothing about anything. You don't go back way back to the Middle Ages. You don't go back to the Egyptians. You don't go back to anywhere. No, it's dumb. It's not history. It's history of Quebec and Canada, and it's not even that. It's like the founding of Canada and then Quebec. That's it. Now, is it a terrible history? No, I like it. But I have a vinyl record of about, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes each side. I can learn the entire history of Canada in like an hour. I don't have to take some course. My freaking grade 10 history was so stupid. It's not hard. It's just stupid. It's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, oh my God, this citizen test is not hard. It's not hard. I've taken it. It's not hard. My dad wrote history questions for tests like that in the Ministry of Education in Quebec. And so he was a teacher. So, like, he just handed it to me and said, here, take it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I took it and I was like, oh, wow. That's easy. I'm so obsessed with history. Well, I like history too. I think it's my favorite subject. Not subject. Yeah, favorite subject. I think it's. I don't love, but it's like, don't say, okay, don't have, call the class history class and then only have history of Quebec and Canada. It's so dumb. My friends all say that. I'm like, we learned a little bit about World War One and Two, and then we learned about Canada, and it was just Canada from that on forward. And it wasn't even like a good part of Canada. It was just random things about here are the specific thing, and it was like cookie cutter. It was like this is exactly what we learn, and everybody learns the exact same thing. I'm like, have a good stream. I have to leave. Bye. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Don't give me that. Stop calling it a history class. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe if you can. I don't need a subscription, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, what was I saying? I personally thank you. Have a nice night or day. I don't know what time it is where you are. Let me check if my if I got a subscriber, I should have 14 subscribers now. I should have 14 subscribers. But anyway, thank you and yep, thanks. So yeah, personally, I really think it's stupid. It's not history. They then started calling it that way after I was gone, years after I was gone. So no, that's not. So yeah, personally, I don't hate history. I like history a lot, actually. My dad was a history teacher. He taught like all of history, and he knows a lot of stuff. And he teach me, showed me so many things. Like, oh, that's so interesting. But then I realized, but what's the point in history? Not that history is useless. I don't think history is useless because you have to know your history, or else if you don't know your history. But there's to a certain extent, you can't know all the history. Um, my brother brought up the point of because we were saying that my friend, one of our friends was a